The replacement phase is the most dangerous phase in a narcissistic relationship. In this phase, narcissists replace you emotionally first. This is when whatever trace of humanity you once believed existed in them fully disappears. Even when they were cruel before, there was still a version of them that pretended to care, explained themselves, or acted conflicted. During the replacement phase, that inner restraint collapses. You're no longer seen as a person, but as a discarded object, and objects do not deserve empathy. Their behavior becomes colder, more calculated, and more openly ruthless. It is as if a switch has been flipped in their brain because they have a new person to give them attention. You are no longer useful to them. To a narcissist, people are not just human beings with hearts, they are like appliances. When a toaster breaks or gets old, you do not feel sad for it. You simply throw it out and plug in a new one, don't you? That is exactly how they view you now. This is why they seem to lose their soul in this phase. You look in their eyes, searching for the person you slept next to for years, and you see absolutely nothing. Just a flat, dead eye stare. They can watch you cry, beg, scream, or collapse in pain, and they will feel nothing. They may check their watch or look at their phone while you're falling apart. They don't have to pretend to have empathy anymore. Why? Because the show is over. They're done performing for you. This is the most dangerous time because a human being without guilt is capable of anything. Since they have dehumanized you in their mind to justify destroying you, they will do anything without a second thought. They will rewrite history to make you the villain. They will take your money or they will weaponize your children, all with a cold, blank expression on their face.
I wouldn't necessarily say that the most dangerous phase with the narc isn't the explosion of the final breakup. It's pretty scary when they rage. But I do understand that it can be very emotionally wrecking, damaging to an individual when your partner has decided to detach and they decide to become cold and callous towards you. It was completely devastating to me. I can probably pinpoint the day that he stopped caring and he stopped pretending completely. And you do have to realize that it almost always happens because they already have another source of supply. Someone else is feeding their ego, validating them, giving them attention, and exciting them. They're happy with the new supply. And that can mean only one thing, that you're no longer necessary. You become disposable. And I felt that shift. It's brutal. Yeah, he was doing it in plain sight of me, even after we have these discussions, and I told him that would be pretty fucked up if you were talking to other women behind my back. And I brought up some instances that I thought was pretty disrespectful. He was always sending kisses and hugs to the women in his podcast, and he'd probably laugh hearing about that, and he'd probably say, hell yeah, because that's the type of person he is. It's right for him to do all that, but it wasn't right for me. How would he like it if I had a podcast and was hollering at all the men, and the men were complimenting me? He wouldn't like that very much. But the point is, I was gaslit. I knew that him not paying any attention to me or wanting to even spend time with me or the kids, it meant that he had what he needed in his life to be fulfilled, and any conflict, it didn't matter to him because he was already checked out. I felt the emotional withdrawal. Little by little, it just got worse and worse. I mean, he was always withdrawn. He was not the best partner. He was, frankly, a shitty partner to me, but I would say about 5 months before the Dscard, it really got bad when I started adding things up. And I would bring it up to him, and he would deny it. He would gaslight the hell out of me. Or he would ignore me, or he would completely disengage and give me the silent treatment. Other times, he was rageful. He would blame me for everything. He would blame me for bills that weren't paid, or something to do with the finances. It was always something to do with the finances, or me not doing something that he wanted done. But eventually I did become invisible to him. He wasn't even calling or texting me anymore to bitch about his job or traffic or stupid little things like that he would always talk about. The reel that I recorded at the beginning of this video, this guy says, "This is the most damaging stage because it makes you doubt yourself." And I can see that. Psychologically, it is damaging. You tend to try harder to make the narc happy. You explain more. You shrink. You hang on to that hope to regain the version of them that you fell in love with. And I think that those months, the last 5 months, I struggled psychologically because I knew what was happening. And he was already rewriting the story. He positioned himself as a victim, and he saw me as a problem, and I saw myself as a problem. By the time the Dscard happened, the relationship was already over for a long while. It was over probably even before our DC trip. I just wasn't informed. Why would he inform me that he was going behind my back, as I knew he was, and I would play that song, "She Knows," because I did know. He would give me breadcrumbs and give me hugs and kisses and love whenever he wanted, and then when he wanted to be intimate, it was just whenever he wanted. And he still completely discarded me emotionally months before the actual breakup happened, and the emotional neglect was very psychologically damaging to me. The indifference was brutal. And then when it kind of hit me that I was in pain, not emotionally, but I was physically looking aged because of the stress that he was giving me, he saw me struggling, and he demeaned me when I was getting ready for bed one night. And I knew I was done. When he said those words to me, I knew I was done with the relationship. He had already replaced me. Somebody took on the role I once filled, and because of that, I definitely was disposable. And so this is the point of this video, that the truth people need to acknowledge. Narcissists do not attach because you failed at anything, that you weren't enough. They detach because they no longer need you. And it doesn't matter how many times that you ask them, "Are you cheating on me?" They're going to deny it. And they're liars. They're pathological liars. In their reality, they're just doing what's justified. They hate you. And the narc in my life, he was my biggest hater. It took me this long to finally accept that and realize it. And the reality is, when they do go cold, that game is completely over. There's nothing you can do or say to bring back the person you thought you were with. It was all an illusion. That version of them was just a performance. When they put you high on the pedestal and said that you're the most beautiful woman in the world, it's a fucked up lie. The coldness that they've shown you right before the Dscard is who they really are. And to me, it's so inhumane. Not only does it hurt, but it will give you clarity. And once you swallow that tough pill, you stop wanting to chase the love from someone who fucked up, lied to you, cheated on you, gaslit you. And they moved on. And you got to move on. You have to. You have to choose yourself. When they come around and hoover you, say fuck you.